Hello YouTube. This would be the second part in me attempting to raise the height on the front of my Porsche. I'm going to attempt to utilize these springs that I have from a 996 C2 that I got from my friend Max. And supposedly these springs are stiffer or taller because of some bumper height regulations for the year 99. At least that's what he said. So I'm gonna go with it and try to install them on the 997. Based on the blueprints, they look very similar, and we're just going to try to MacGyver it. As you can see on the stock suspension, I have very little gap, and the reason why I need to increase this by at least an inch is that I've installed a replica of GT3 bumper, and it's missing the lip, and in order to put the lip here, my ride height would be it will be clearance of about maybe 3 inches. So I'm already scraping if I'm not careful, so I have to do something about this. And as you can see in the back, it's making it worse by having too much of a gap. So hopefully once I raise the front and the back, will even out a little more and all be good. So let's get to it. Alright, so we got the wheel off, and I wanted to show you what needs to be loosened or removed in order to get this strut assembly out. So first of all, I will remove this 10mm bolt and unhook the sensors. This is a brake pad wear sensor and ABS sensor. Caliper is easy. These two X bolts, that's it. It slides right off. The sway bar link up here, that gets loosened over here. It's a long bolt that goes through and basically secures the shock and the strut in the hub assembly. This is aluminum hub, so it's fairly easy for it to come out, unlike the metal ones on Volkswagens where you need a spreader tool. I already had this out, so I know that it pops right out. And then I'm just gonna hang the caliper so nothing gets damaged, like on a bungee cord. And then we'll get into the process of preparing for removing the shock. Obviously, the last three nuts are up here. 1, 2, 3. This car has the PASM suspension, so there's one connector that needs to be unhooked, and then it will drop down. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove everything, as I said, and then resume. Okay, so the assembly is free to come out. And the way to do it without damaging your fender, so first you put some blanket there and get a big pry bar. Now what you want to do is jam that pry bar under the A-arm. Okay, so it goes around this shroud and under the A-arm, and it's you don't need too much force. As you can see, you can do it with one hand, and it's about to come out. So all I have to do is tilt it, and make sure that the head clears. All right, like that, and that's it, and it slides out. Let me pull it out, put it on a bench. So here's the strut in the vise, and now we can take a look. How similar are the springs really? And if you want to see where the turn starts, the turn starts right here. So turn this one, same, and then see the bottom turn ends there, ends there. So they're very, very similar, and this is why I'm hoping that this will work. Obviously right now it's decompressed, so it's way longer, but it's not going to be as long once it's in. One thing that I also wanted to talk about are these rubber shims that Porsche puts in. So you can either get a 3mm or 6mm. So this is a 6mm. So that's another way to get extra height. So if I was to put another one in here, I would gain 6mm, but like I said, I need way more than that. So it's just gonna go back in the way it is. Now for the top nut, I'm gonna be using this tool. It's a 22mm that I used on the Volkswagen before, and it works great with this type of struts where there is a connector on top, so you can fully insert it. So in order to compress these, you really need to get these this tool, because the way the Porsche only has few turns, really, you need to be able to grab the very bottom, right? So you're going to be grabbing the first and the third. You can't get to the top one. Other tools won't let you. This wasn't expensive, it was about $20 on eBay, and it's cast iron, so it's gonna be fine. So let me get that prepped up. Okay, so I was only able to use one of the compressors, but it was enough. So just find a position where you can go across 3 turns. That it really is only maybe 30 degrees where you can do that, but luckily that was enough to compress it where the top is not under load anymore. The way I managed to take this nut off and prevent from the whole shaft spinning is I used big pliers to hold this washer, and that washer has a little slot that goes into a groove within the shaft, and that's why it prevents it from spinning. Just take your time with it. Use plenty of lubricant to to loosen up that rust, and it'll come out. Just be patient with it, you know. Check frequently whether you still have load on your spring. You should not have, because you don't want this to shoot up or damage your thread. As you're taking the nut off, it should be no movement, and everything will come off nice without any drama. So this is this goes into a groove in that shaft right here. So that's that. Now the top hat, it has already a couple of these washers, as I see. So what do we have here? This is going to be interesting to see what the factory decided to put in. So this is the bearing assembly. So we have the bearing. Okay, so this is top of the bearing. Like this. Okay, so just one 6mm washer on the bottom. So it's completely stock. Okay. Spring. Now I'm going to remove the compressor off of it, and then we can compare this 2005 spring to a 99 spring and see if the 99 spring is longer. Okay, the moment of truth. So on the left side we have the 2005 997 spring, and here's the 99 spring. So yes, it is taller, and I think that will just do it. That is probably exactly what I need. So hopefully I can compress it and get it in there, and then we'll check the right eye once I install it. Okay, so as expected, it's a big pain to get it low enough that I can catch a thread with the top nut. I had to use both of the compressor tools and some. So what I'm gonna do is start tightening the top, and then I have to start loosening these compressor tools so it sits properly in the groove. I got the bottom properly seated, but the top is not, because it's all crooked, lopsided. So hopefully I can manage to finish it up. So I was able to finish it. The new spring is in, and I'm about to put this back together, and then we can take a look at the ride height. Hopefully it's improved, and we've gained about an inch or inch and a half. That's what I need. Here we go. Strut is back in, everything tightened, wheel is on. Now the moment of truth. Did it work? Let's take a look. Yes, ladies and gentlemen. Excellent. That's exactly what I needed. Perfect. Thanks, Max. It worked. Now I just have to do the other side and then I'll make another episode on how I attach the lip on the front of the bumper. See you guys.